What happens when destiny gives you everything, but the world refuses to let you reign? This is the story of Rhaenys Targaryen, a woman destined for power, yet continuously denied, in a time when dragon's blood did not guarantee a throne. Known as the Queen Who Never Was, her life and legacy echo through generations, showcasing the strength of a woman who, despite all adversities, never bowed her head. Rhaenys was born in 74 after the conquest, daughter of Prince Aemon Targaryen and Lady Jocelyn Baratheon. From the start, many believed she was the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne, being the first in the line of succession after her father. Queen Alysanne, Rhaenys' grandmother, also believed this, affectionately calling her our future queen. But even with the queen's blessing and her Targaryen blood, the path to female power was never easy. At that time, women's fates, especially in the Game of Thrones, were often decided by men. Yet, Rhaenys never passively accepted the decisions that pushed her away from her destiny. In 87 after the conquest, Rhaenys proved herself a true Targaryen by claiming her dragon Maleys, known as the Red Queen. This act was the first sign of her strength and determination, as she conquered the mount that once belonged to her aunt Alyssa Targaryen. At the height of her youth, she made her grand entrance into the political game when she flew with King Jaehaerys I to fulfill royal duties, not just as a noblewoman, but as a dragon rider. This journey culminated in her announcement of marriage to Lord Corlys Velaryon, a union that would mark not only her life, but the history of Westeros. Her marriage to Corlys Velaryon, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men of the time, was a milestone. Together, they formed an alliance that combined not only wealth, but political influence and power. However, even this union wasn't enough to secure Rhaenys the one thing she desired most, the throne. The death of her father, Prince Aemon, in 92 after the conquest, challenged her claim to the Iron Throne. King Jaehaerys, instead of naming Rhaenys as the rightful heir, chose Aemon's brother Baelon to be the next prince of Dragonstone. Rhaenys, pregnant at the time, was ignored, along with her unborn son Laenor. From that moment on, Rhaenys' life was marked by successive injustices. First, her own claim was dismissed because of her gender. Then, even with the support of powerful houses like the Baratheons and Velaryons, her son's claim was also rejected. During the Great Council of 101 after the conquest, where the succession was decided, Rhaenys and her children Lena and Laenor had their claims once again passed over. Viserys I was chosen as heir, despite rumors that the margin of victory had been narrow. It was at this moment that Rhaenys earned the infamous title of the Queen Who Never Was, a nickname that, though ironic, encapsulated the tragedy of her life. But what sets Rhaenys apart from other figures overlooked in the Game of Thrones is that she never gave up. Even without the throne, she remained a formidable force, always by her husband Corlys' side, using her political influence to fight for what she believed was just. She witnessed the rise and fall of kings and queens, including the tragedies that befell her own family. Her children, Lena and Laenor, met tragic ends. Lena died during childbirth, and Laenor was assassinated under mysterious circumstances, leaving Rhaenys without direct heirs. Even so, she never succumbed to despair, continuing to fight alongside Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen during the bloody dance of the dragons. And it was during this civil war that Rhaenys staged one of the most dramatic moments of her life. Mounted on Meleys, she bravely fought enemy dragons at Rook's Rest. Knowing the odds were against her, she faced two dragons simultaneously, a desperate and courageous act that sealed her fate. Meleys was struck down, and Rhaenys met her end in the flames of the battlefield, staying true to her fearless nature until her last breath. Rhaenys Targaryen lived a life of honor, courage, and resilience, always embodying her house's motto, fire and blood. Her story is a reminder that in the Game of Thrones, not always the strongest or most deserving seize power. But those who fight, those who never give up, leave marks that even time cannot erase. Rhaenys never wore a crown, but her spirit and legacy remain as bright as the steel of her copper armor. Now, as we look back and reflect on her life, the question remains, what could have been if the world of Westeros had been ready for a queen like Rhaenys? If she had ruled, would the fate of House Targaryen have been different?